of this year's Ivy Tech Changing Lives campaign. And I want to thank everyone for being here. What is going to be a very exciting afternoon full of great announcements. We're going to feature students, which is an important part of all we do, and we're glad you're here to be part of it. Some 9 months ago, we launched a campaign very quietly, as quiet you can in Evansville, which is not always possible. And we have close to 60 volunteers with a clear mission, which is to advance the mission of Ivy Tech, which is in itself just a great tradition and do great stuff. Today we plan on sharing you with the successes of where we are to date, introduce you to some of our best and brightest star students, as well as talk about the next steps of the endeavor. And lest you think there are no next steps, if you haven't donated, Bob Cook is here. He'll be glad to take your check. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here, and most importantly for thanking Ivy Tech. And it's now my honor to introduce the real star of Ivy Tech and ask the Chancellor of Ivy Tech Southwest, Dan Shank.
Well, good afternoon. What a great turnout. Thanks so much for being with us for this announcement today. We're quite excited. Before I move forward, would like to do a few introductions. We have Senator Toms with us. Thank you so much. We have Representative McNamara with us today. David Gunn is our regional board chair. David's with us today, and appreciate you fitting this in. I know you got a tight schedule for this afternoon. We have a couple of foundation directors. We have Lou Porter. Lou, where are you? Lou's in the back of the room. And Holly DeMoore, you'll hear from shortly. And Bill Doty with Vectren Corporation would round out our 3 members of the statewide foundation directors. We also, you've heard from Bob Jones. Bob was recently appointed by the governor to serve as the state trustee for this 10-county region of Southwest Indiana. So Bob, we're so delighted to have you in multiple capacities with the college. Today is really just a great moment in the history of Ivy Tech. It's our 50th anniversary, and many of us were together recently where we celebrated that 50th anniversary in Indianapolis with a wonderful, wonderful event. And this certainly will carry on. As Bob shared with you, we have over 60 volunteers who have committed to making this campaign a success. We're grateful for their efforts. We're also grateful to our donors for their investment in our mission and their investment in our students. I'm especially grateful today for the largest gifts to our campaign. With the support of Old National Bank and Vectren Corporation, we're able to launch a new program at Ivy Tech. And I'm happy to make this special announcement today because of their generosity. In the fall of 2014, we will launch the ASAP program. The ASAP program is an accelerated associate degree program. This is a program that will reach out to recent high school graduates, in many cases those in low socioeconomic categories, in some cases individuals who might not otherwise succeed in college, to bring them into an accelerated 2-year degree program at Ivy Tech. What makes it accelerated is the way it's offered in essence, within 12 months they will have completed a 2-year associate degree program. This program exists in a couple of other regions around the state. The results have been tremendous, but again, we're delighted with the strong support of Old National Bank and Vectren Corporation. We will be moving forward with that program very soon. And again, as they graduate from that program, they'll be ready to transfer to other higher education institutions as well as go to work. Of all of the initiatives that campaigns fund, in our case, we're looking at really being here today to talk about the students, and you'll hear very soon from Brian Ferguson. We can talk about a lot of needs, new programs, new equipment, but it's the students, in many cases, it's the scholarship support that those students have received through the college. So Brian Ferguson is a little bit of an interesting story. I'll have him tell you where he fits in the family lineup. So Brian, if you would come forward, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Ferguson. I am a last semester here at Ivy Tech. I graduate this December. I just want to take a moment to tell you a little bit about my story. I'm an identical triplet, So it was hard to come up with financial fundings for my family to put us through college. So I had to do everything by myself. And now I'm at the time where I'm going to graduate, and I'm very honored to do that with Ivy Tech. I am the first generation of my family to complete college, so that is thumbs up for me. I'm just honored to be an Ivy Tech graduate. And now I'm introducing you to Miss Mary McCutcheon, our Student Government Association President.
Dr. Shane, on behalf of the Student Government Association, I would like to present this check for $30,000 for the Changing Lives Major Gifts Campaign.
Be sure Bob Jones takes this with him.
As students, we feel it is important to do our part to invest in the campaign. Thank you for your leadership and inspiration. Thank you to our donors and community who are making this campaign a success. Your gifts will change the lives of all of our students at Ivy Tech. Thank you. I would like to introduce Mrs. Holly DeMore, the co-chair of our campaign.
Well, I have this wonderful script written for me by the marketing department, and I'm not going to use it. That probably doesn't surprise them. I just want to talk to you today and answer 2 questions for you. First of all, why is Ivy Tech important to our community? And secondly, why should I give my hard-earned money to Ivy Tech? So let's start with why it's important to our community. I think that we are seeing the demise of the middle class in our society. And the middle class has always been the backbone of our society. If you look through certain economic segments, the middle class is not an opportunity anymore. And we have to change that. Now, traditionally, we've brought people into the middle class with education that led to good paying jobs. And that hasn't changed. But a lot of other things have changed. And what I'm about to say might surprise you. That education may not be a 4-year degree. Why do I say that? We have students graduating from 4-year colleges, and I'm a graduate of a 4-year college, a liberal arts school, but they're graduating with anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 in student debt, depending on whether they've gone to a private or a public school. And the problem is if they don't major in science or technology or engineering or math, they're not likely to find a good job. Contrast that to students graduating from Ivy Tech. You can go to Ivy Tech, it's a very affordable school, get a 2-year degree, move directly into the workforce, and become a contributing member of the middle class. And what might surprise you is 31% of those 2-year graduates are going to make more money than their 4-year counterparts. So that's my case for Ivy Tech. So why should you give us your money? Well, I spent 23 years in sales, and I know that I'm not going to sell you Ivy Tech if I don't answer your objections. And when I go out and ask people for my Ivy Tech money, I hear 3 things. The first thing that I hear is, I'm a taxpayer, and my taxes support Ivy Tech. Why should I give additional money? It's absolutely true. We are a state-funded institution. But what you might not know is that we are the largest college in the state. with over 78,000 full-time students. And what you also are unlikely to know is that we receive $2,500 from the state for each full-time student, or full-time equivalent. Now, IU receives about $10,000 for every full-time equivalent. Purdue receives even more. And what you might also not know is that at least half, if not more, of the students at Ivy Tech now are from out of state or out of the country. Ivy Tech students, those students at IU, Ivy Tech students stay here in Indiana. 97% of Ivy Tech students stay here and get jobs and contribute to our communities. The second objection that I often hear is, well, those students just need to work a little harder. And that comes from those kinds of people who say they walk 3 miles to grade school in the snow. You know who those people are. Now, most of our students are parents. They're often single parents. They're the sole support of their families. They're working full-time at low-wage jobs. And they're going to school at night. Now, I don't know how much harder they can work. And finally, there are those people, and these are the people that I love. There are those people who say, well, they just need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Now, I don't know what bootstraps are, but I have to figure if you've got bootstraps, you probably can afford a pair of boots. And a pair of boots nowadays costs about $150. And that's out of the range of many of our students. Now, why did I make that analogy? It might seem a little silly to you. I did it to make a point. Our students need money, not for the extras. They need money for the basics. These are students who don't get help from their family, as we already heard. In many cases, they're the sole provider for their family. And a family might not be just children. It could be parents, too. They're paying for housing. They're paying for transportation, they're paying for food, they're paying for clothing, they're paying for health care. And when they do all of that, there's nothing left at the end to pay for college. And that's why we need your help. I think it obligates those of us who have moved into the middle class, and many of us have moved into the middle class with help from other people. I think it obligates us. Obligate's probably not the right word. I think we should be privileged to help hardworking students improve themselves and move up and have a better life than they did for their parents. And for that reason, I'm asking for you to support Ivy Tech. We know that Ivy Tech works. We know the concept of a 2-year college works. And we also know that Ivy Tech graduates work. They're out in our community today. When I look around here, I see a lot of business leaders. And I suspect a lot of your employees are Ivy Tech graduates. Now, Ivy Tech has invested to help build your business by providing a strong workforce. I'm asking that you help build our business of education, our business of moving people into the middle class. Thank you. And with that, I'll go back to the script, otherwise I'll be in trouble. For these reasons, I'm honored to be able to share with you the success of our campaign so far. We are well on our way to our $4.5 million goal. Please turn your attention to our volunteers as they reveal the current total of our fundraising efforts. We're going to start at the end. Let's have a 7. Now, I want to know who gave 7 cents to me. Why didn't you just round up or down? But 7 cents just doesn't make any sense to me. 3, 7, 2, 1. Let's stop right there. $12,733.07. Next, we have an 8. That's good. $812,733.07. but that still won't get us where we need to be. So let's have the last number, drum roll please. $2,812,733.07. I want to thank all of your donors who set the stage for our campaign's success. I want to thank our volunteers who've worked so hard to invite current and new donors to be part of the Ivy Tech story. And with that, I'd like to turn the podium over to Bob, who has a very special announcement. Thanks very much.
Great, thank you. It is clear to me, with Holly's energy and excitement and leadership, while we've been able to get to this. So Holly, thank you so much for your leadership. Before I move into the special announcement, there are a number of the 60 volunteers that are here. If you could just raise your hand and we can give those folks a round of applause. Please, Tom, don't look around here. One of the old adages in fundraising is people give to people. It is, as Holly explained, Ivy Tech is clearly a great cause. But it has to be the person that makes the ask, or it has to be the person that leads an organization that you're actually giving to. You don't want to have money go to an organization that doesn't have great leaders. For all of us that are involved in this campaign, we're blessed to have a tremendous leader at the helm of Ivy Tech in Southwest Indiana. Dan Shank has led this region for over 2 decades. His name is synonymous with words like integrity and honor, community, and service. And I think the West Side, Dan, I'm not sure. Dan is one of the most humble, unassuming leaders I have ever had the pleasure to be associated with. I've known Dan since I first came to Evansville some 9 years ago, and I've just been absolutely amazed at his humility, his hard work, and just who he is, which is a quality individual. The state of Indiana presents a number of awards to great people, and it's my honor to present to Dan today, if you could step up. Through the hard work of a number of our legislators and others, Governor Mike Pence of the great state of Indiana has presented Dan with a Sagamore of the Wabash Award. So I've got... As Jim and Wendy and other folks that are in the legislature will know, it's not easy to get a Sagamore and a Wabash. I can tell you that we've tried a number of times for other folks that didn't quite make the list, Dan. Fortunately for yours, it was a no-brainer. Governor Pence said, absolutely, I know Dan, he's a great leader, he's done great things, and he is the epitome of what the Sagamore stands for. So congratulations from all of us. I'd like to invite you up if you'd like to say a few words.
Well, I'm shocked, surprised. I'm really here accepting this on behalf of my better half as well. Kathy's in the back of the room, but anyone who's been in leadership positions know that things can take a lot of time, and she's been very, very generous in giving me a lot of room to do things in the community. I'm, again, shocked by this, but it's a reflection on all of those that I have the chance to work with each and every day. If it's the students, if it's the faculty, the staff, they really make it enjoyable to come to work. I've been accused of liking my job more than anybody else. This particular person, I see her smiling in the back of the room. I think Mary Murphy, who's about to retire. Mary, you indicated you've never seen anyone liking their work as much as I do, something similar to that. And that doesn't just happen. People like Bob Jones and Bob Cook and Holly Demore, and so many others in this community really have made this journey quite delightful. And again, thanks so much for your faith in me, and pass along certainly appreciation to the governor as well for just a great honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dan, well deserved. I'm a banker, but I'm not very good with numbers. I was a political science major. But I do know that 4.5 less 2.8 means we got work to do. And that's very important. We should can Holly's speech and put it on, and I'm sure we'd close that gap. But there is no one more committed to education in Southwest Indiana than Bob Cook. And it's my honor to have him come up and close out this presentation as our honorary chair and continue the need to raise the additional $1.7 million. So Bob.
Thanks, Bob. You know, this is actually my second campaign for Ivy Tech. Due to some misunderstanding between Governor Frank O'Bannon and myself, I was the ornery chair of the last campaign. But President Snyder and Chancellor Schenck made it clear that this campaign, they've asked me to be the honorary chair. So as honorary chair, I'd like to congratulate and thank all the volunteers for the work done so far, and certainly all the contributors for their contributions. You know, while I can't say it near as eloquently as Holly, an investment in Ivy Tech makes good sense. You know, these students, these graduates are our future workforce, and if we want to grow economically, we need good quality workforce, and so this is the key to it. So I can't say any more. But I do feel myself slipping back into that ornery mode. In fact, my wife says I'm ornery all the time. But, you know, with 2,812,000, does that include this last 30,000?
It does.
It does, okay. Oh, so. So that leaves, what is that, 1.7 million yet to do. I'd like to get this campaign done by Thanksgiving so we could give Thanksgiving for a successful campaign. Now there's 63 days between now and Thanksgiving. And there's $1.7 million to raise. That's only $26,900 a day. But with our 60 volunteers, that's only $166 per day per volunteer. That can be done. Well, thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. We have a reception that follows this. I'd like to invite all those who are here to join us in the reception. And for the campaign committee, 5 minutes at the reception and then back to work. Thank you very much.